All right, so starting chapter 11. Chapter 11, we get into areas of all the different polygons we covered. And the first shapes we're going to talk about are triangles and parallelograms. So how do you find the area of triangles and parallelograms? Just a refresher of some definitions. When we're talking about the bases of a parallelogram, we mean either pair of parallel sides. And the height of a parallelogram is the perpendicular distance between the base of the parallelogram. So we'll get into more details of that. So the area of a square is the square of the length of its side. So if we have a picture of a square, so just recall a square has 4 right angles and 4 congruent sides. So let's say the sides are all x. So the area of this square is equal to x squared. You take one side length and you square it, and that will give you the area. The area congruence postulate says if two polygons are congruent, then they have the same area. The area addition postulate says the area of a region is the sum of the areas of its non-overlapping parts. So for example, if we have a shape like this, sort of like a house, right? Well, the area of this house would be this red polygon added to this blue triangle. So you'd add up those two pieces to get the whole area. Like that. So the triangle plus the rectangle would be the entire area. The area of a rectangle is the product of the base times the height. So in a rectangle, so a rectangle has 4 right angles and the opposite sides are congruent. And there's a base and a height. So the area equals base times height. The area of a parallelogram is the product of the base times the height as well. So base times height again. So if we draw a parallelogram, I'm going to zoom in and do it. So parallelogram, we have a base. Now the height is going to be the perpendicular distance. So for this, the area is equal to the base times the height. And again, the height is the perpendicular distance between two parallel sides. Okay, and then lastly, the area of a triangle is half the product of the base and its corresponding height. So in our triangle, there's going to be a base, and the corresponding height is the perpendicular distance. So it'd be like this green line, that will be the height. So the area of this triangle would be area equals 1/2 times the base times the height. So it's just like a rectangle except for it's half of base times height. Okay, so let's practice these formulas a little bit. Example 1 says use a formula to find the area. Find the area of the parallelogram ABCD. So here's ABCD. All right, so the area of a parallelogram is equal to the base times the height. So we have to find out what is our base and what is our height. So the base is one of the parallel sides. So if you pick the base to be 9, which is what I would pick. The height is the perpendicular distance between these two blue sides. So the perpendicular distance is where there's a right angle. So in this case, the perpendicular distance is outside of there. So the height is actually going to be 4. So to find the area, we would do base, which is 9, times 4. So the area of this is 36, and we're going to put a U. Actually, I'm going to write out units squared. And the reason I'm saying units squared is because I don't know if it's feet or inches or centimeters. So if you don't know what it is, just say units squared. And then the checkpoint is find the area of these two shapes. So find the area of the number 1 here. This is a triangle. The area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So if you look at this, this right angle tells us the height. So we know the height is 28. Now we got to find out which one is the base. The base is going to be the part that's perpendicular to the height. So this would be 45 plus 21 is 66. So the base is 66. So to find the area of our triangle, we're going to take 1/2 times 66 times 28. And 1/2 times 66 times 28 is 924. And again, we don't know, is this feet, is it inches? We're not sure. So we're going to say units squared. Area is always squared. Look at number 2. What shape is number 2? As you look, you should realize it is a parallelogram, and the area of a parallelogram is base times height. So we need to find out what is the height and what is the base. The height is always the right angle. So in this case, the height is 7. And the base is always perpendicular to the height. So in this one, the base is 17. So the area is going to be 7 times 17. Base times height. 7 times 17 is 119. And I'm going to put units squared because, again, they don't give us a unit of measurement. So we just say units. And that is how we find the area of this parallelogram. And the trickiest part is finding the base and the height because they're always where the right angle is. All right, example 2. The base of a triangle is 4 times the height. The area of a triangle is 50 square inches. Find the base and the height. So what we know is the area is 50. And we know that the base of a triangle is 4 times the height. So we don't know what the height is. So we're just going to call the height h. And we know that the base is 4 times the height. So the base is 4 times h, whatever h is. So let's start with the area formula. The area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So if the area is 50, we would say 50 equals 1/2 times the base, which is 4h, times the height, which is h. So we end up with 50 equals 1/2 times 4 is 2. So it's 2 times h squared. 50 equals 2 times h squared. Now we want to get h alone, so we divide by 2. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So 25 equals h squared. And the last step is take the square root. The square root of 25 is 5. So we get 5 inches is the height. So if the height is 5 inches, Okay, that was right here. To find the base is 4 times 5. So the base is 20 inches. So we got the height and the base. We're good. And that was just one of the word problems you might see. Something like this where they compare the height and the base by one's 4 times the other. We write the equation and we solve. All right. Checkpoint 3. A parallelogram has an area of 133 and a height of 19. What is the length of the base? So we have area is 133 feet squared. The height is 19 feet. We are trying to find the base. So we'll call the base x. Sometimes you call it b if you want, call it x. Just when you don't know something, you call it a variable. So the area of a parallelogram is equal to base times the height. So the area is 133. The base is x and the height is 19. So we get 133 equals x times 19. We have to get x alone, so we divide by 19. We end up with x equals 133 over 19 is 7. So that means the base is 7 feet. And our last example, you are vacuuming your living room floor and would like to know how much area you must cover. The shape of the room is at the right. Find the area. So this shape is nothing special to us, but we can break it apart by drawing a line. And now we have two different shapes, or two different regions. We have the red region, which is a rectangle, and we have this blue region, which also looks like a rectangle. So let's focus on the red one first. Clearly, the top is 9. We have to find out how big is this side, the left or right side. So if the entire thing on the right is 9, and this part is 5, that must mean the top is 4, because 5 and 4 together make 9. So to find the red part, that is a rectangle. The area of the red part will be 9 times 4, because it's the base times the height. So the area equals 9 times 4. The area is 36 meters squared. To find the blue part is a square. So again, this is base times height. So the area is 5 times 5, which is 25 meters squared. And then to find the total area, we're going to take 36 plus 25. So the area is 36 plus 25, which is 61 meters squared. So that's the part we got to add up the two pieces. Okay, and let's just talk about the checkpoint. It says, suppose in example 3 that there are 4 sections of carpet covered or measuring 1 meter by 2 meters that are covered. So if you're going to vacuum, you don't have to vacuum underneath those pieces. So if we have 4 sections that are 1 meter by 2 meters, to find the area of each section, we would do 1 times 2, which is 2 meters squared. So if there's 4 sections, and each section is 2 meters squared, that means the total is 4 times 2, which is 8 meters squared. So if in example 3, the area was 61, the area would cover that would not include the furniture would be 61 minus 8, which would be 53 meters squared. So that's how much area we have to cover if we don't vacuum underneath the furniture. All right, and that's where we're going to stop for today.